Greetings and good evening. Charles Walker here. I am here to explain to you the wonderfulness of being a rogue. And along the way, maybe I can teach you to steal many things, from hearts to items, you never know. So sit back, relax, maybe take a drink of scotch, and let's have a good time. Okay. Hey guys, so I'm not here to teach you how to be a gentleman rogue. I want to have a little fun with this. So, what I'm here to talk about is playing rogues in a roleplay sense. I've already talked about a little guide on how to build rogues. I'm going to leave a link to that video in the end card, so feel free to click on that if you haven't seen it yet. And this time I'm going to be giving some recommendations. How I recommend playing rogues. And the reason I'm making this video is when I first made my rogue, I had a lot of fun with that. I'm like, man, this is amazing. Rogues can do so much. So I had a character called Maverick, and his thing was he was born into a thieves guild, but wasn't like how it was being managed. He felt like it was getting more corrupt and was taking advantage of the common folk. So what he did was he decided to take over it from the inside and make it into a better, more professionally run place, something that actually benefits the populace more. He was kind of a Robin Hood-like character. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, and as I got more and more into D&D and started looking more into communities, I noticed there was a bit of a stigma around rogues to some people, and a big of it was saying that they really are mostly edgelords. And I'm like, nah, they're fine. Then the more I played D&D, more ran games and saw how people played rogue. Whew! There's a lot of shadowed hedgehogs out there and a lot of Ryokos. And yeah, that is not a bad thing. It can be fun to have someone like that in your party that likes to mess around, make a big joke out of it. But for all my players who have played Shadow the Hedgehogs with me in the past, I do not do this to make fun of you. I'm just making some points on what I think is a good way to play a rogue. And I'm not trying to put down how you play, and I'm also, for one, I'm not saying deviations from the class are not okay or okay. I'm just saying what I think is a good idea playing rogue. And playing a classic rogue is not a bad thing. I mean, I feel like it's good to have a little bit of conflict in the party. I feel like you shouldn't make a character that openly antagonizes the rest of the party, but it is good to have a character that adds a little bit of conflict and spice to it. Like, you kind of wonder, what's this guy going to do? And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into this. And now, talking about rogues, first I want to say deviations aren't okay. And I want to talk about is one thing making a rogue is, while the edgelords are okay, I just want to talk about rogues and everything they can do. Rogues have something unique that no other class in D&D has, and that's the fact they have access to 4 skills. As far as I know, the highest other than that is Bard and Rangers with 3. So rogues have 4 skills, and they are a lot of them too. I mean, think about it. If you play either a Kinku half-elf or Tabaxi rogue, you have access to 8 skills. That is absolutely insane. And as a rogue, you can have expertise in 4 of them, 6 of them if you go scout. So yeah, that is insane to me, and I don't know why you wouldn't thrive on that. And what I mean by that is one thing I did with Maverick is the fact that I think it was an important thing for him to really be a skilled character. So I really tried to make him diverse and fill in some gaps where our party that may lack him. I even took the skilled feat at one point so I could get another 3 skills and just be absolutely insane. Yeah, he was handy. I loved him. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is rogues have that a lot of party members and classes don't have, is they have so many skills. So despite the fact you could be trained to be just a thief, don't think of it just like you have to be a thief. Think of it all the other possibilities you can be. And one thing I did with that in my next example is with Maverick, I had it where he would always have an alibi no matter where he went. And what I meant by that is I had access to performance, and I'm like, I wonder how I could do this. Then I realized an alibi, that's what I need. So I had to cover that no matter where he went as the guise of a bard, and he kept spreading his name out, made him more and more famous. So when he traveled to new areas, it was kind of common that he was just a traveler. So when he'd go to a new area, he would go to a bar, he'd get his way in there, play some songs, and he would go off with either a woman or just go off completely off the end, acting like he was drunk, make everyone believe it. And he'd just go in his room and lock up for the night, giving the innkeeper a few extra gold, telling him not to be bothered. And because he was an arcane trickster, I would use disguises and invisibility to sneak my way out of the inn, and then I would go on a little hunting spree. And since he was a Robin Hood-like character, he only robbed from people who deserved it most of the time. So I had a lot of fun with that. And that's one thing I think is important, is the fact that rogues are so skilled. Think of like some kind of cover they can have, like be a traveling painter, a locksmith, a cobbler. I've even seen a cobbler thief. That was great. And yeah, just take advantage of how diverse your character is and have a lot of fun with that. And also, having an alibi is not going to be a bad thing, because that's going to help you get your party get out of trouble as it is. And you build your character right with high enough charisma and deception, you're more than likely you can talk your way out of anything, like Maverick did. So, and next thing I'm going to mention is also, think of it this way. There's so many alternates you can do, and there's also so many alternate ways to play a thief. And what I mean by that is, the only pure thief I played wasn't a rogue. It was a sorcerer, actually. Because of the criminal background, you could really make any character a thief. So what I did was I made a sorcerer a thief one time to see how it went, and I had a lot of fun with it. And what I did was I took spells like invisibility, greater invisibility, mage hand, haste, expeditious retreat, and it really worked for me. He was really handy and was able to get his way out of a lot of situations. And he's also a shadow sorcerer, so I felt it was kind of appropriate. He was kind of on the darker side. He was a lot of fun. I really liked him, and he worked well because with the criminal background, he had thieves' tools, and also I made sure he maxed out like deception, sleight of hand, and stealth, and he worked amazing. And I even got the boots elven kind, so he's so hard to track. So yeah, he worked really well, and that's one thing I'd recommend, because when it comes to rogues, there's many alternates you can do. This may be a little bit controversial. And this is where I said stereotype deviations are okay. You don't have to play a thief to play a rogue. It's okay. Calm down. Sit down. It's all right. Get your pitchforks down. Now, what I mean by that is there's so many alternates you can do. And it even mentions, while there may be few, but there isn't uncommon for rogues to not be alternate things. Like some I had in mind I think will work real well. Like even criminal background, there's alternate way to play a spy, actually. Not a spy, so you could be a spy for a guild, a town guardsman, a king, whichever. Something that really works well, that's someone who would have that thief training. Because not only thieves will be trained like this, I mean, there's also going to be scouts in the military. They're going to have some kind of stealth operative training. So yeah. And also other things to work is, this actually goes into a subclass of rogue. There's investigators. Like you could basically be Sherlock Holmes, the rogue. And yeah, with investigation and perception, you'd be a really handy rogue. And finally, what I think is amazing and I really want to do is a rogue archaeologist. And basically, because you take that, you take Dungeon Delver, you would be amazing at exploring ruins. So think of it this way, like you are a rogue, but you only steal from the undead. You're basically a grave robber. Depending on who you ask, that's okay. You ask Indiana Jones, as long as I'm museum, it's okay. You ask Joey Wheeler, he will say grave robber or trap card is okay. Only 2% of you are going to get that joke, but I'll live. And anyway, so yeah, that's a lot I want to talk about is playing rogues. Don't be afraid to veer off and do something interesting. And if not, you want to play an edgelord, that's fine. Have fun with it. And the final bit I wanted to talk about is, when I said play with your party and not against them, one thing I really want to say about that is, don't be that person that just makes a lot of trouble for the party. Like, play smart. Be the smart master thief, because my thoughts on it are, if you are a rogue, you're going to be highly trained and highly planned. You're not going to be making really reckless decisions. And the reason behind that is, a normal D&D party member is going to be way stronger than the average common person. Average common person has 4 HP, so even though your lowest wizard is going to be tougher than a normal commoner. So a rogue, they're going to be more than an average pickpocket. They're going to be someone who is well-trained, well-versed, has plenty of heist and stealing ideas. They're going to know what they're doing. So that's my thought is, don't just play it recklessly. Like, be someone smart enough to where your party doesn't even know you're a thief. They think you're just, as one of my party knows me as a specialist. I could be a locksmith one day. I can be a disguise master the other day. They're not sure what I am. They only think I'm a thief, but they don't have no proof. So that's what I wanted to leave y'all with, guys, is I hope you enjoyed this video, and I didn't mean to step on anyone's toes, but hey, you never know. I got my first hate comment last week, so we'll see how this goes. Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoy this, and if you want to see more videos or hear my tips on how to run a class, just let me know in the comments. I'm actually going to start pinning the most appropriate comments in the description, because I love the feedback you guys give me, and I want to reward that. And honestly, I feel like you add a lot to the videos, so you make a comment that's really good, really insightful, or just makes me laugh the most, I'm probably going to pin it. And with that, thank you guys. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you next video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We're doing great, and let's keep this ball rolling. Let's see how far I can get with this. All right, I'll see you. Bye.